Hey guys, got a video today, and today we're talking about how to improve as a player in Battlefield. There's a few things to mention from everything I've learned as a player in Battlefield over the years. Hopefully help a few players out. You know, whether you're new to Battlefield or like a veteran player, I feel there's something here for everyone. I feel this applies to all Battlefield games really. You know, 2042, Battlefield 1. You know, the next Battlefield, it going into that, or you know, it's just FPS games in general. You know, you could take these points into other games for sure. You can apply them and, you know, be just as effective. Have left timestamps below so you can skip to whichever you want. You know, if you feel one doesn't really apply to you, it's all good, no worries. Would say a lot of things I'm going to mention are very much sort of connected with each other. You know, so you can apply them all at the same time, not just doing sort of one individual thing. You know, there's very much sort of connected to each other. You know, practice all of them at the same time. You'll be improving quite quickly, I think. Right, so I'm not going to waste your time any further. You know, rambling on. Let's get into how do you improve as a player. So I think firstly we're going to talk about mentality. You know, going into improving as a player, I think it's a very important thing. You know, I think it's important to don't be afraid of failing or to be seen to fail. You know, you've got to look at it in the long run. You know, if you practice the right things, hopefully what I mentioned in this video, you know, you're only going to improve as a player. You know, practice makes perfect. It's something I talk about a lot on this channel. You've got to be able to, or let yourself fail to be better. You know, I'm not really a quote person, but there is something that springs to mind that can help, which I think sets a sort of right mentality. And it's from Michael Jordan in the 90s. You know, he was at the top of his game of basketball, and he said something on the lines of, you know, I've missed thousands of shots in my career. You know, now I never miss. I think that sort of like encapsulates improvement in a nutshell. I feel, you know, I like the confidence of it. You know, it's mentioning I know where I used to be at, now I'm here. Confidence is a big thing, you know, in improving any skill. Naturally brings confidence, and having that confidence can improve that skill further. It can be a snowball effect, you know, depending on the person. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. As long as you know or you remember where you come from or how you started, you should be on the right track, I think. You know, it's why I like that quote. It's because, you know, there's no ego there. It's just confidence in his ability, and that's a big difference. Another point of mine is, you know, watch high-level players play the game. You know, so you can watch my videos, you can watch, you know, everybody has their favorite players in Battlefield. You know, just watch them. You know, whether it's streams or YouTube videos, you know, watch how they play, the sort of rotations, the settings that you use. I think a lot of sort of good players are very good at explaining settings, and you know, Battlefield's very sort of complex in a sense, which why I make YouTube videos, you know, to help people out. And because it's, you know, when you first come to the game, or it's a nightmare trying to figure out what, you know, what stuff does, like uniform soldier aiming, what the hell is that? You know, future frame rendering, what the hell is that? you know, I know what it's like. You know, so I think a lot of players would, you know, if you ask them, be more than happy to you know, explain a lot of settings. Is my point. You know, like the weapons they use in the games, you know, like the build of the weapon, the specialization trees, the spec trees. Again, you know, I think they'd be more than happy to explain why they use something, why they don't like something, and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, watch high levels players play. Another point is record your own gameplay and watch back. You can use like OBS or Shadow Play, like the NVIDIA app that I've actually just gone to, NVIDIA app. I'm quite impressed with it. You know, it doesn't have to be long. You know, it can only be like, it's like every time you die in a game or something, you know, you can just record the last like 30 seconds. You know, it doesn't take a lot of sort of FPS hit. You know, you can record at 1080p, 720p, you know, as long as you can just watch back and see why you've died, and you think, oh, okay, maybe I should have pushed to the right, or sometimes, you know, I could have done this better or done that better, you know. And I think it's kind of a good point, I think. Yeah, so you should be, it's something I've used, recording my gameplay, you know, obviously making videos and stuff like that. It's something I use all the time, especially I'm playing Doubtforce in a minute. I'm not sure if anyone else is playing that, but, you know, I'm always recording stuff and just watching back, see why I die, because I haven't got a clue what's going on in that game. So, you know, recording gameplay and watching back, you know, why you died, you're like, oh, okay, that was like a I think I was spotted there, or situations like that. I think it's a good thing to do. And another point of mine is to play lone wolf. I think this is very underappreciated and a very effective way to improve as a player. It's hard. I'll be very honest with you. It's hard. It's very hard, but you learn so much. You can play with your friends 100%, no problem. But I kind of feel if you do it too much, the problem with that is you practice bad habits. Always being revived every time you die. You make mistakes and you don't get punished for the mistakes that you make, because you have that backup and you begin to learn bad habits. I kind of feel you can depreciate as a player over time. Playing lone wolf, you don't have that backup. You're always thinking, learning how to take 1vx gunfights and survive in your rotations, how to rotate around the map, how to put yourself into good positions. This is something you'll learn very quickly by playing lone wolf. And it's, Battlefield has a lot of very good sort of solo players, man, that can sway servers individually. And I think there's a reason why. It's because it's very good. It can create some exceptionally good players. So yeah, sometimes you can play with your friends, but sometimes you just like, I just want to lone wolf for a bit and play for a few games, and I think you'll learn quite quickly. I think another sort of point to improve as a player is playing against better players. Now, the reason why you do this is you'll see how they play. They sort of reveal themselves to you, like their play style. Over time, you'll learn so much from playing against them. By playing against good players regularly, at first, you'll die a lot. You will. It's all good, but over time, you will die less to them. And by dying less, you're learning how to play against a high skill player. So essentially, you're increasing your skill just by dying less. And that, that's just because you're playing like a higher level of player, and you're dying less to them. So you're essentially improving because you're playing against a higher standard of player. So if you see a good player in a server, stay in the server, don't leave. Think of it as a positive thing. Just be kind of like a sponge, essentially. You should learn from them. Every time you die to them, figure out why you died. Over time, you'll understand why you die. And obviously, to quickly mention, there is sort of competitive Battlefield. If you do want to get involved in that, it is a great way to play against higher skill players. Kind of a cheat code if you really want to sort of improve quickly as a player. That's something to get involved with in Battlefield. Still games going on from what I hear, although it's not as much as it used to be. But if you want to play against good players, you'll learn a lot, 100%. And my final point is, this is more for like the controller players of Battlefield, and it is to turn off the snap aim part of aim assist. From my own experience in my console days, it helped me improve hugely as a player. Quickly improve in my stats, like stat-wise. The reason why you turn it off is the snap aim can be a hindrance at times. It does have, from what I remember, testing it, it's like a cooldown, so you can't spam it, so it kind of appears or seems like it's quite inconsistent. It doesn't always snap to like center mass. Sometimes it snaps to the shoulder. That's not good. You want it sort of hitting the chest ideally. And by turning it off, with practice, and this is, from my own experience in Battlefield 5, playing without snap aim and used to playing with it and turning it off, you can be more accurate using only the slowdown part of aim assist. Leave it 100%, all good. If you play consistently, like every day on controller, and you want to improve, I think there are benefits to turning off snap aim assist. So yeah, there's some points on how to improve as a player. Like I mentioned previously, they're all sort of like interconnected with each other. Practice all of them at the same time. The only way is up. You're only going to improve as a player, I feel. Yeah, and let me know how you're getting along. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Let me know below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be very much appreciated. And I'll see you boys in the next video.